Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Ken and I'm on a journey to lose as much weight as I possibly can so I can become a fat guy no more. Well, first off, before I jump into anything else this week, I want to say a big thank you. Thank you to every one of you that have come by and smashed that subscribe button. I don't believe I mentioned it in last week's video, so I want to make sure that I say it this time, and that is thank you, because since the day of the 5K, this channel is up just over 40 new subscribers thanks to you guys for hitting that button. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Of course, if you're watching this video, if it's your first time or if you've been coming by quite a bit and you haven't hit that button yet, it's right down below. Would you do it for me? I'd appreciate it. Well, this video isn't going to be one of my typical ones. I'm not going to be going through the numbers at the end and doing all that stuff. I will talk about my weight, but I'm not going to go through the weekly numbers because I'm going to be honest with you. For the past couple weeks, I haven't tracked a damn thing at all. I mean, literally. At all. I've been trying to be smart about stuff, trying. We'll see how that ended up working out for me, but so I'm not going to do that now. I will get back into that. That's not a thing of the past, that's for sure, but for right now, I'm just not tracking everything. Been going by feel. And we'll see how I'm feeling here in a little bit. I want to talk about the 5K for a moment here. If you haven't watched that video, it is, on the channel. I know it's long. It's like my magnum opus. It's an hour and 40 minutes long. I was asked by a few people if I could shorten it. If you watched it, you do know that I even mentioned in there that I thought about doing that. So I went ahead and did that, and I'm going to put it out again this next week in 3 parts. So the first part's going to be, the beginning stuff, the getting ready for it, that weekend, that Friday, going to the expo, that kind of stuff. I think it ends with the weather delay. And then the second video is going to actually be the longer one of them. It's going to be the actual 5K, that morning and everything, then through the 5K. And the third one is going to be where I show some amazing footage that was on the YouTube feed from News 9 here of the finish line, as well as my thoughts and stuff afterwards. So I'm going to put that out in 3 parts like I mentioned. So part 1 will go up next Monday. Part 2 will go up next Wednesday. Part 3 will go up next Friday. So check those out for me if you would. Even if you've already watched the full one, it'll help this channel a lot, and I would greatly appreciate it. So I keep getting asked, what was it like afterwards when I got home? The questions people want to know is, what was it like when you got home that morning, and how long did it take you to recover from it? Well, let's start at home that day. So we got home probably about 11:30 or so, maybe close to noon. I don't remember exactly. And I plopped my butt down on the couch. Yep, that's exactly what I did. My wife and I started watching coverage on YouTube of the race. We went and looked for just anything that would pop up about it. And that's when my brother had sent me that link about the video showing the finish line there. So we turned it on for a little bit and was watching people come across from the marathon and stuff. And then we rewound it. And then we rewound it and saw where I actually came across, me, Michael, Angie, and Tony, where we all come across. And so that was really kind of cool. And then we watched a few other YouTube videos, and then I went to stand up for the first time, and my legs were like, I mean, it was like jello, absolute jello. I kind of felt that down there afterwards too. I don't remember if I talk about this in the other videos, but I mean, just in case, I'll say it again, I guess. I do repeat myself. We all know that for sure. But right after we crossed the finish line, I was pulled over by Carrie Watkins, the executive director of the Oklahoma City Memorial, as well as she does the podcast. You guys have watched that here. If you haven't watched that, I will link it again down below. I'll link both of the ones down below in the comments if I remember, but they'll be in the description as well. The one I was on back in March, I believe it was, and then the one right after finishing the race. I'll link them there so you can watch it, check that out. But when she met me and we got onto that chair, it was weird because I tried to sit down, and I show on the other videos in part 3, I show us walking over to it, and me trying to sit down, my body just wanted to keep moving. Just wanted to keep moving forward, I guess. I mean, it just literally wanted to keep moving. So to try to stop to sit down on that chair, I literally had to use, I think it was Angie's arm and Carrie's arm to stop myself so I could sit down, and then I was okay. But my whole body was just like, rah. out. If you watch in one of those clips I show where I'm trying to turn my watch off, I had the Map My Walk on, you could see my hands just shaking. That's exactly how I was. I had pushed my body beyond anywhere that it had ever gone before, and it was letting me know. It was absolutely letting me know that. I don't know, maybe that was a good thing. I'm glad I did it. I mean, that's for sure. And it was very interesting to see how my body reacted, even though I don't remember a whole lot of that, to be truthful with you. I mean, there's a lot I do, but a lot I don't. It was really good to have like Angie with me there because she remembered a lot of it, right? She got a lot of it on video too, but she remembered a lot of it for me and was able to tell me that last quarter mile, you know, I struggled. I admitted that in the last video, and I'll admit it again. I absolutely struggled. Of course, come to find out, it was a quarter mile longer than what it was supposed to be, so maybe that's why. I don't know. But that last quarter mile was really brutal for me, and I had to stop, I don't know, 2 or 3 times, at least twice, I think, to catch my breath. And she kept telling me in through the nose, out through the mouth. She was telling me how to breathe, and that really helped. It helped a lot, because just hearing that, I mean, I know that when you're in that moment and you're just trying to get those deep breaths, you don't really think about it. You're just, you know, trying to breathe. And so she was telling me in through the nose, out through the mouth, and that was spectacular. But then she told me later too, she said there was moments where basically my eyes were almost ready to roll back in the back of my head, like I was ready to give up. And one time when we stopped, I remember leaning down, was putting my hands on my knees, and I do remember that. I may have went down with my forearms onto them, and she thought that was it. She thought I was just going to go down, be done with it. I don't feel like I was at that point. I just needed to just stop and just be able to, you know, do one of those. And at that moment, I really just couldn't. So I don't remember that, but that's how she was feeling at that point. And again, without my team, there is no way I could have got this done. And I knew that going in, at least I felt that going in. It's absolutely the truth. So after we did those interviews with the podcast and then with the Oklahoman, we moved up a little further, and I had to sit down again. I actually used a couple pallets of water that they were handing out, you know, they hadn't opened yet. Sat down on there. If you watch the video, there's a couple different clips where I'm sitting on it. You could see the fence with some spectators behind us. That was that moment, and that's when I really started feeling better. I drank in that first hour afterwards. I drank that one beer that the guy gave me, right? If you don't know that story, watch the video. It's a good one. So I drank that beer, and then I drank 7 full bottles of water plus that beer in the first hour after we come across that finish line. And I mean, my body was just taking it all in. It was insane. I could not drink enough. It was weird. I've never been in that situation. Even living here in Oklahoma, going out when it's like 110 degrees or hotter. Angie and I were down in Texas when it was 120. I never felt the urge or the need to drink that much water. But that day, my body wanted it, and I absolutely gave it to it. So yeah, 7 bottles of water, full bottles of water in that first hour after the race. That's just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. So by the time we got back to where my wife and some other friends were, we were able to sit there and just talk about everything and spend time with the family. Angie's husband was there and one of her daughters were there. You know, we all just kind of took it in. Once we dispersed from there and started headed towards the car, my legs were kind of jello again. I mean, at that point, that was really when it really started hitting me. Well, then just shortly after walking a little bit, I kind of got into my rhythm. It's really kind of cool. I wish we had it on video, though. We don't on that one. But as we were headed to the car, I saw somebody that had a shirt on that said, "Ran them all," across the back. So I talked to him. He has actually ran all 25 of the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathons. That's just, I don't know, man. It just seems crazy to me, but that is awesome. That is so exciting to think that there are people out there. And I guess there's a pretty good group of them that actually have. So that's kind of cool. So I got to talk to him about those and some of the changes along the way and, you know, what it means for him to come out each year and run this one specifically. So we got to the car and loaded up and got to the house. And again, like I said, I sat on that couch. I sat on it for quite a while before I tried to get up that first time. And when I did, yeah, my body told me just how much it hurt. I was really feeling it at that point. My feet felt great. My legs felt great. But when I went to stand back up, yeah. I could feel it. I ended up back on the couch for a little while later, ended up watching TV with my wife. We watched some of the news, you know, the coverage they had about the race, and then we just watched different things. And then I went to bed, put my feet up, I got an adjustable bed, so I put my feet up and just kicked, enjoyed it. Just enjoyed the night. And then the next morning, I had to go to work. Luckily, I was working from home. I didn't have that far to walk, right? Just down the hallway here. I was joking at one point that if it come to it, my wife can come get my chair for me, and just push me out here. Just wheel me out to my office if we had to. But no, didn't have that issue. Put my shoes on, not even my race shoes, just my regular shoes that aren't as good. They're pretty worn in. And I came out and went to work. After work that day, we had to go pick up a rental car for our trip to Texas. Went and did it. And then my wife came home. And for good measure, I went to Costco. Yeah, I went and picked up our prescriptions and walked around there for probably about 45 minutes. And then I came home. The next day, worked again. And then we had tickets to OKC Broadway that night. And because of the arts festival downtown, I actually had to park about 3 or 4 blocks away. We're used to parking less than a block away. However, this time it was storming. I was supposed to get my walk in the storm on Saturday. Again, if you haven't watched the video, you have no idea what I'm talking about. If you have, you know what I'm talking about. I was supposed to get that on Saturday. I'm glad I didn't, but I got it on Tuesday because it was pouring rain as we walked up to the Civic Center to go watch Anne Juliet that night. And then afterwards, it was insane. It was quite intense walking back, man. There was some flashes of lightning bolts that had to be fairly close to us because the hair on my arms were like, just sticking up. The thunder so loud. I like to say I'm deaf in one ear, can't hear out the other. But the thunder was so loud that, it gave me a headache. It just, yeah, it was intense. It was one of those things that's like, damn. But made the walk back to the car, got in there, came home. And then on Wednesday, we worked a half a day and we headed to Dallas. There were a few things we wanted to do in Dallas, and that first day on the way down there, we went by Buc-ee's. We always go by Buc-ee's. So we walked around it. If you've never been to a Buc-ee's, it is essentially a gas station, with a mini mart. But they're huge. They're absolutely huge. Buc-ee's are fantastic. I absolutely love going to them, but they're huge. It is always the perfect spot to stop to go to the restroom on our drive down there, and without a doubt, they have the cleanest restrooms anywhere that I've ever been. So that's fantastic. So we walked around there for a while, got a few things, jumped back in the car, headed to our hotel in Arlington. We got checked into our hotel, and then I headed over to Globe Life Field. My wife actually dropped me off so we didn't have to pay for parking. And I walked around the ballpark. Yeah, just a few days now after that race. The race was Sunday. This is now Wednesday. And now I'm walking around Globe Life Field. I went there and met a friend of mine who's originally from the Bay Area, Kristen. We went to a game. If you've watched my videos for a while, you've seen pictures of her and I. So it was great to get to see her. About the only time I get to see her is when we're down there in Texas. So it's great to hang out with her and catch a game. And then over the next 2 days, we went all over Fort Worth. We hit so many different places. We did the stockyards. We watched them move the herd. We walked through Stockyard Station. We even went up northwestish of Fort Worth to a town called Reno, Texas, to go visit the gravesite of Peter Mayhew. I don't know if you'll recognize the name Peter Mayhew, but maybe you'll recognize his most famous character that he played. He was Chewbacca in the Star Wars series. So I definitely wanted to go by his gravesite. It's so weird because I'm not really into graves. But a couple years ago, we were in Atlanta. We went by Kenny Rogers' grave. Of course, with the name of Ken, growing up as Kenny. I still have people calling me Kenny. I never liked it. And I just love the fact that he took it and owned it and made it his whole thing. Everybody knows who Kenny Rogers is, right? The gambler. So I have always been a fan of his. And I remember when he passed away back during the COVID days. And so we went by his grave. And I don't know, graves have always creeped me out. But for some reason, not as much evidently, because we went to several on this trip. I actually have a video that'll be going up in a few weeks that I made for my Kedogn channel. If you're subscribed over there, check those out too. Our videos from Texas start going up this Friday, actually is the first one, including walking through Buc-ee's. So check that out if you haven't. Again, Kedogn, it's the channel I have that I use for our travels, with my wife and I. A few of these now are actually going to star Miss Piper, our dog. She went with us to Texas, so that was fantastic. But we also checked out the Fort Worth Water Gardens while we were down there, walked all over it. That was really cool. Then we went into Dallas the next day and it was pouring rain. So we didn't do a whole lot that day, but we went to a few one cemetery actually, but there were 3 different graves we wanted to see. The first one was Mickey Mantle. The second one was H. Ross Perot. And the third one was Tom Landry, the former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Not a fan of either one of those last two, but there's very specific reasons why I wanted to go there. And I mentioned that in my video that will release here in a couple weeks on Kedogn, so check that out for me if you would. But yeah, we did an awful lot of walking. And then that Friday night, just for good measure, the whole reason why we went down to Texas, actually, we went and saw Trisha Yearwood in concert. And it has been many years since I've seen her in concert. I have, between her concerts, her with Garth, her at the Grand Ole Opry, her recording TV shows, I've seen her well over 100 different times. But to see her do a show of her own, it had been since August of 2006, so almost 19 years. And even with Garth, the last time was when we went down to Texas. What was that? In July of 22, she opened for him down there. That was fantastic, but I haven't seen just her. So my wife and I went, we had second row seats, had a ball. One of the best parts about that show was there were multiple friends of mine that I haven't seen in years that were there. I mean, many years. When Lindsay got there, the first thing she told me is that it was 25 years ago since we've seen each other. Now, we're friends on Facebook. We talk periodically. We comment on each other's stuff. But to actually be together in the same place, it had been 25 years. And you've probably guessed it already. Yeah, that was at a Trisha Yearwood concert too. I think she told me it was in San Jose. I always think it's Dixon. I believe it was San Jose. Lindsay, if you're watching this, comment down below. Let me know for sure. But I believe you told me it was San Jose. So here are a couple pictures of her and I, almost 25 years apart exactly, because that was in May that year of 2000, and so was this one. Yeah, here we are out there in San Jose, and then just this past week down in Texas. That's just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. That's been 25 years. This picture shows a group of us. There's Lindsay in there with me, but then there's also Melissa, Christy, and Ann. Yeah, I've known all of them for 20 plus years, and it's been quite a while since I've seen her. I'd actually seen Christy last, yes, at a Garth and Trisha concert out in Tacoma, Washington. She was there. That was back in 2018, I believe it was. And then Melissa, I don't know how long it's been. It's been well over 20 years since I'd seen her, and same with Ann. They both live in the Nashville area, and I didn't get to see them the last time I was over there a couple years ago because they were out of town, so I have no idea. So here we are all together back at a Trisha concert. Man, Christy, Melissa, and I, we used to travel going to see Trisha at times, kind of like I do for ball games or now Route 66. Back in the day, I used to join up with them and we would go see her. We saw her all over. Fort Worth, Houston, down at New Orleans at the House of Blues. You know, we've gone Nashville, we've gone over to, where do we see her? Uncasville, Connecticut. Where else did we? I don't know. All over the place. People Magazine 25th celebration in New York City. We saw her there the day before my birthday that year, and we saw her on my birthday in Atlantic City. So yeah, we've gone all over the place, all of us, and we always had an amazing time. So it was absolutely fantastic to get together and see her. And then of course a friend of mine, Donnie Lewis, who is Trisha's road manager. He's out on this short tour with her, but he has also spent time and is Peter Frampton's tour manager too. So we got to see him and talk to him for a little bit. It's been many years, so that was, I don't know, that did my heart well. Like I told the ladies just before we left, I walked up and I put my arms around them and I said, thanks for the memories. It's been a long time and I needed something like that. So absolutely fantastic. So speaking of Texas, there was a lot we did down there, and there was a lot of eating going on. Now, I tried my best to be good. I did go have some tacos at Guy Fieri's there at Texas Live by the ballpark. The next day, we went to a place that I had no idea even existed down there. I did not know this place franchised, Anchor Bar. I mean, it's originally from Buffalo. It is where buffalo wings originated. I freaking love that place. Even though I've stopped eating meat, I love their hot wing sauce. It is, in my opinion, the greatest hot wing sauce, period. Bar none, end of discussion. But I haven't been to Buffalo since 2012, and I haven't had the chance to really partake. You can order their sauces, and don't get me wrong, I've definitely done that a lot through the years. A lot. But it's been a while. And so, because of the salt, right? So when my wife saw that they actually had a franchise here in town, she surprised me with it. When we pulled up and I saw it say Anchor Bar on the side, I'm like, honey, it's not going to be the same. And then right above the door, I saw Mama Teresa Bellissimo. And I knew then. And look at that, see again. Tell that's the fat guy in me, man. Those hairs are raising up. I was so excited because I knew I would get something that I haven't had in a long time. And I let myself have it. And we actually did... we split orders. I got some of the meatless as well as some of the cauliflower wings. We tried it with 2 different flavors of their hot sauce. It's fantastic, but I knew the salt was going to get me. And so, you know, I kind of figured with all the walking that I've been doing that I should be okay. Of course, I was sucking down waters down there too. I don't know how many liters I went through, to be honest with you. There was a few sodas too, because I've been drinking those. I've been trying to stay with the Coke Zero or the Zero Sugar Dr. Pepper, but it hasn't really mattered. Either one of those two. It's still caffeine and it's still fluid. And when you have that kind of salt, it's just going to stick right to you. So, yeah. So we got back from that trip, that amazing trip that it was, and I got on the scale that Monday when we got back. So a week ago yesterday. This is Tuesday of, what is today? I don't even know, man. Days are running together. This is Tuesday, May 13th. So I'm hoping this video will go up tomorrow. Depends upon how fast I can get it edited tonight, because I am in prison this week, as I like to say, prison. It is my prison week for work. So I've been in the building, which, as you know, means I haven't been able to take all of my water pills. So I've been struggling these last few days. But last week on Monday, I got on the scale and it told me that I was at 391 pounds. Now, if any of you are doing the math, you know that my lowest was 332. So that means I went up 59 pounds. Well, I could feel it in my legs, but 59 pounds? How freaking insane is that? Just think about that for a moment. In 1 week, up 59 pounds. Now let's split that up a little bit. I told you how right after that 5K, I drank that beer that guy gave me, and then those 7 bottles of water, right? I'd been saying for quite a while that my victory celebration that I earned was going to be tacos and a couple beers. So that's exactly what we had, a couple tacos and a couple beers. And so I had that, and I don't know how much other water I drank. When we got home, I don't know, we'd been home for about an hour or so before I had my wife make me an electrolyte mix, right? With some of my water enhancer from Walmart that I really liked, the pineapple mango. And I had 2 of those, I know for sure, 20-ounce bottles. But that next morning, after all of that, just that day alone, I was up 13 pounds. 13 pounds. I'd walked that 5K, I drank all that water, I'd done all that, I did have my tacos, had a couple beers, up 13 pounds. Is there anybody you know that can gain weight that fast like I can? To me, that's absolutely insane. Insane. But it's reality, and there's no reason for me to hide it. That's why I'm right here making this video telling you guys about it, because that's just how it goes for me. Any extra bit of salt like that is a killer. So even with all of that walking I did, I mentioned, went to Costco, walked around, to and from the OKC Broadway show, went down, walked all over Buc-ee's, we walked all over Fort Worth and Dallas, we went to that concert, we came home. A lot of walking, an absolute ton of walking, especially for me. And I'm up 59 pounds as of this past Monday, not yesterday, the week before. There's only one thing to do, get right back on that horse. So between that day and this morning, I am down 33 pounds. 33 pounds already. It probably could have been better, but there's been a couple things that I have had as well in that time. But down 33 pounds, I'm okay with that. I got a long way to go to get the fluid off of me. My legs still show it. I'll show you one here if I can find that photo. You can see it's still very, very swollen. So there's a lot of fluid on me. Again, this is prison week, so I am stuck in the building. So there's really not a whole lot I can do. I am home a little early today. I took off just a little bit early so I can come get this video done to hopefully get it up for you guys tomorrow. And I've already taken my water pills. So by the time I start editing this, hopefully they're going to kick in, because yeah, I need that. So what am I going to do going forward? Well, I'm going to keep moving forward. This has been a little bit of a setback. I'm not too worried. I think I'm kind of having, 5K letdowns, withdrawals, whatever you want to call it. Everything was leading up to that. I can tell you this. I no longer feel stressed. I have been sleeping like an absolute baby. Who is it? Zach Top, that amazing new country singer. I sleep like a baby. Yeah, me. Out. Every single night now. Tax season's behind me. The 5K is behind me. I sleep like a rock. As a matter of fact, which turned out to be a good thing, but game 3 the other night in Denver, the Thunder, right? Game 3. Tonight is game 5. But in game 3, it didn't start until 9 o'clock our time. And the last time I remember looking at the clock was 8:52. And night. I was out. I missed that entire game. As it turns out, they lost in overtime, so it was probably a good thing, at least for my blood pressure, that I missed that entire game. But yeah, I slept like a rock, an absolute baby, and it has been amazing, absolutely amazing. So yeah, I fully admit I put a lot of pressure on myself when it comes to those things. Tax season was one thing, but I really think it was the 5K, and now that I've got one under my belt, I do not believe the next one's going to be anywhere near as pressure filled as this one was. I think a lot of it was, if you really think about it, they asked me to do the podcast. That put pressure on me. I could have said no, I suppose, but I did it anyways. And then sitting here talking about it all the time, knowing what my feet and my ankles were like, I totally forgot about that. All of that stuff that we did, between the 5K, all that extra stuff, going down to Texas, everything's great. 2 or 3 days after I get home from down there, I'm coming in the house from the garage. I go to step up. I twist my left ankle and my right knee just goes, oh man, it was this god-awful grinding, popping noise that was just insane. I mean, it was horrible, absolutely horrible. And so, yeah, I was down for the count for a couple days. Luckily, I was at home, didn't have to worry about anything. So I just kind of hobbled around here. They're much better now, but I'm very thankful it happened when it did, not 2 weeks prior, so I didn't miss that 5K, because even the way I'm feeling now, there's no way I could have done that. Absolutely not, because it's still, especially this left ankle hurts. And I remember telling you guys that I had to take a few days off getting ready for the 5K because of that ankle. And it's worse now than it was back then. I mean, by far. So thankful for that. But so even with everything going on, I'm sleeping just absolutely fantastic now. Even down in Texas on a bed in a hotel room that wasn't the greatest, I was out. Loved it. Loved every bit of it. Feeling so much better. I just got to get back on track, eat properly, start tracking everything again, get into that. And I need to get a shot in me. It's been 3 weeks since I've had one, or I've missed 3 weeks. So I will be taking one tomorrow on Wednesday, and I'm going to skip the compound shot, and I'm going to go and I'm going to take a shot of the pen, the zepbound that I've got in the fridge out in the garage. I'm going to go back to the original and see if that does anything to really help me out. Do that for at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks in a row, because I got a box out there that's got 3. So we'll see how that goes, how that gets me back on track. I go see the doctor next month. I think it's the 5th. So I definitely want to get this fluid off and be doing good before I go see her. If you're watching this, hey doc, see you soon. And then I've got 5 weeks from Wednesday, 5 weeks from tomorrow, till I go to Tulsa for another trip. And so there's a lot of stuff I want to do on it. Route 66 stuff, the Juneteenth celebration. There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to do up there. So got to be ready to do that too. And maybe, I haven't quite decided yet, I might do the 1 mile walk as part of the Juneteenth celebration. I haven't registered for it yet. I haven't till the night before. So we'll see. We'll just see how I'm feeling. I was thinking about doing that 5K, but there's no way I'm going to do that, especially on my own. But I also have the Route 66 festival that afternoon, so I'm going to be walking around it. So there's no way I want to do a 5K and then go do it. So maybe the 1 mile, maybe I'll hit up a friend of mine up in the Tulsa area to see if she wants to come join me. If you're watching this, you know who you are up there. Maybe I'll shoot you a DM and see if you want to join me. Yeah, if I decide to do it, that is. So whole lot going on. But my weight is up, and I'm making this video just to prove to you that it's not all good. There are some bad parts of it, right, when it comes to a weight loss journey, and you just got to roll with it. I know exactly why it's up. It's from the salt and all that fluid, and yeah, I'm okay with it because that's just how it is. I'm going to get back on track and get going forward. And I'll have another update for you guys in 2 weeks because like I mentioned earlier, next week I'm going to release the 3 parts of the 5K video, the pre, the actual race, and then my post thoughts and stuff. We're going to do that and make them shorter videos, make it easier for you guys to watch. I did have people requesting that, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't know what kind of views they'll get. Hopefully you guys will watch it. Even if you watch the original full-length one, I would greatly appreciate it. So hey, I am rambling and rambling and rambling and rambling. You can actually hear that my wife is off work out there. So I'm going to get this done. I'm going to download this video. I'm going to go say hi to her for a little bit. Then I'm going to come back and edit it and get it up and hopefully have it ready to go for you guys on Wednesday, the 14th. Thank you so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on my journey to become a fat guy no more, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video.